Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, a return to the Indiana Jones franchise after an almost 20-year break. Many fans of the franchise questioned at the time whether a 64-year-old Harrison Ford wasn't pushing it in terms of, being a believable action star and not simply an old man. But I think seeing the film, he at least has proven everyone wrong because he's kept himself in excellent shape, still being able to do many of his own stunts, and generally being pretty damn believable as the aged but still capable hero. The film also had some behind-the-scenes drama following its release. Shia LaBeouf, who's in the film and who was clearly positioned to take over the franchise and sort of carry the torch, made comments about how unhappy he was with the finished product, that the movie was disappointing for fans and worse than the original trilogy, and he directly criticized, aside from his own performance, the script and the direction, which of course Steven Spielberg took issue with, didn't take too kindly to, and Shia was subsequently fired from the franchise and any potential future incarnations of his character. And as much as he had a point about the film's quality, it's probably not his place to criticize it while doing press for it. Anyway, on to the film. The story takes place in the 1950s and opens with Indy being captured by Soviet communist spies so that he can help them identify and recover a mysterious artifact from a giant army warehouse. Following this adventure, he's approached by Shia's character Mutt. He says that his mother was kidnapped along with his old mentor, who happens to also be an archaeologist and Indy's old friend from school. Both of them have been taken somewhere into the Amazon jungle, and the search has to do with Crystal Skull artifacts, the fable city of El Dorado, and of course the communists from the beginning of the film. So, many fans of the franchise have criticized The Crystal Skull for being a significant downgrade and an overall much worse film than the original trilogy. And those criticisms are not without merit. There is a clear drop in quality, and there are elements about the film that don't feel as satisfying, like the scene of Indy surviving a nuclear bomb detonation in a fridge. It's over the top and ridiculous, even for a franchise that had many unbelievable things happen in it already. Shia swinging on the vines with the monkeys is just embarrassing. John Hurt, I think, is largely wasted on the role of the belligerent old friend. I wasn't a huge fan of the plot revolving around aliens, and overall there's tons of visible green screen and CGI that hasn't aged as well as the practical stunts and location shooting and effects of the older movies. But having said all of that, it's still an okay film. I don't think it deserves to be completely crucified, not to the extent that some people did. The sense of adventure is still there. Harrison Ford is great as always. His dynamic with Shia works really well, and on the one hand reminds me of the dynamic with Sean Connery in The Last Crusade, just flipped the opposite way. On the other hand though, Mutt is also just a competent, capable sidekick, and a sort of fresh one at that. He doesn't feel like a rehash of anyone from the previous films. There's humor and genuine heart in here. Cate Blanchett is entertaining as the villain. I like things like the motorcycle chase sequence early on in the film, or the giant murder ants scene. I mean, it's an okay film. The question that everyone needs to answer really for themselves is it's simply, is being okay good enough when you're following up a trilogy that was so consistently excellent?